Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a conversation, an argument perhaps with someone you love, and you walk away not angry but foggy? A strange, unsettling cloud descends upon your mind, making you question the very words that were spoken, the events that transpired, even the emotions you felt so intensely just moments before. You start to think, did that really happen? Did I remember it wrong? Am I overreacting? It's a quiet, creeping madness, a chilling disconnect from your own reality, and it often happens in the one place you're supposed to feel safest, in love. This feeling, this profound and disorienting self-doubt, is at the heart of what we're going to explore today. It's not a sign that you are broken or crazy. It is a sign that you may be standing in a carefully crafted illusion. Imagine, for a moment, that your sense of self, your very identity, is a vast, quiet room. In the center of this room stands a single, magnificent mirror. This mirror is your perception, your memory, your intuition. It has reflected your true self back to you your entire life. You trust it. It is you. Now, imagine you invite someone into this room, someone you love and trust implicitly. They see the mirror and admire it. But then, day by day, with actions as subtle as a breath on the glass, they begin to alter it. They might gently press on one corner, creating a tiny distortion. They might polish one area with a cloth that leaves a subtle, blurring film. They might tilt the mirror ever so slightly, so the light never quite hits it directly. You look into the mirror and see a distorted, anxious, clumsy version of yourself. And the person you love, the one holding the cloth, looks at you with concern and says, "What's wrong? You seem so unstable lately." You are the seeker of truth, and they have become the weaver of a false reality. You are living inside the illusion of a warped mirror. If this idea of a distorted mirror, this feeling of looking at your own reflection and not recognizing the person staring back, is already sparking a new perspective for you, take a moment to subscribe to Mind Decode Explained. We journey through these intricate landscapes of the mind together, exploring the hidden maps that lead back to ourselves. This subtle, insidious distortion has a name: gaslighting. The term itself is a ghost from the golden age of cinema, born from a 1944 film titled Gaslight. In this classic thriller, a charming man named Gregory marries a woman named Paula, moving her into her late aunt's home in London. But his love is a facade, a tool for a sinister purpose. He is secretly searching for her aunt's hidden jewels. To keep Paula from discovering his plot, he orchestrates a symphony of psychological manipulation. He dims the gas-powered lights in the house, but insists to Paula that she is imagining it, that the light is as bright as ever. He hides paintings and brooches, convincing her that she is forgetful, that her mind is failing her. When she hears footsteps in the sealed-off attache's footsteps, she persuades her it's a figment of her overactive imagination. Paula, once a strong and vibrant woman, begins to crumble. She becomes isolated, anxious, and deeply convinced she is going insane, entirely dependent on the very man who is dismantling her reality piece by piece. Her world shrinks until it is only him and her own perceived madness. It is a chilling, extreme example, but the techniques Gregory uses, denial, contradiction, misinformation, are the very same tools used, sometimes consciously, sometimes not, in modern relationships. The weaver of your reality uses a palette of sophisticated techniques to keep you trapped within the distorted mirror's frame. The most common stroke of the brush is outright denial. You gather your courage and say, "It hurt me when you said that last night." The weaver looks back, their face a mask of pure confusion or even pity. "I never said that," they'll reply, their voice steady and certain. "You have such a wild imagination. You must have dreamt it." In that moment, the floor beneath you gives way. Your memory, a cornerstone of your identity, is suddenly presented as a fantasy. You have the memory, the feeling, the sting of the words, but their conviction is so absolute that a seed of doubt is planted. Could I have imagined it? Another favorite tool is trivializing your emotions. This is when your genuine feelings are reframed as a character flaw. You say, I feel really upset that you shared that private story with your friends. Instead of acknowledging your hurt, the weaver scoffs, perhaps even chuckles. Oh, you're being far too sensitive. It was just a joke. You need to learn how to take a joke. Suddenly, the issue isn't their breach of trust. It's your supposed inability to be easygoing. The focus shifts from their action to your reaction. This is incredibly effective because it weaponizes social norms against you. Nobody wants to be the sensitive one, the drama queen, or the one with no sense of humor. So, you swallow your hurt. You tell yourself, maybe I am too sensitive. You adjust your own emotional thermostat to match their narrative, learning to suppress your feelings to avoid being labeled as flawed. Then there is the tactic of questioning your sanity. This is perhaps the most direct and brutal form of gaslighting. When you confront them with a pattern of behavior, when you've gathered your evidence and laid it out, they will look you in the eye and say things like, "You sound crazy right now. Do you know that?" Or, "I'm worried about you. I think you're having some kind of breakdown." Or the classic, "You're making things up again. You're paranoid." This is the weaver holding up the most warped part of the mirror, forcing you to stare at it, and telling you that this monstrous reflection is your true self. It's a power play designed to make you feel so unstable that you retreat, drop the argument, and become pliable once more. Over time, you stop trusting your own judgment entirely. You become a seeker who no longer believes they can find their own way, relying instead on the weaver's map that leads you in endless circles, always back to a place of confusion and dependence. This constant state of confusion creates a profound psychological strain that experts call cognitive dissonance. As explained by psychologist Leon Festinger, this is the immense mental discomfort we feel when we hold two or more contradictory beliefs at the same time. In a gaslighting relationship, you are trying to reconcile two powerful, conflicting ideas. I love this person and they love me. And this person is consistently causing me pain and confusion. The human mind desperately seeks harmony. It cannot hold these two opposing truths for long. The gaslighter exploits this. By constantly insisting that the pain and confusion are your fault, your invention, or your overreaction, they offer you a way out of the dissonance. They allow you to discard the belief that this person is hurting me and cling to the more comforting belief that I love this person and I am the one who is flawed. It feels like relief, but it is the relief of surrender, the quiet of a prison cell after the struggle is over. One of the most damaging misconceptions about gaslighting is that it only happens to people who are weak or insecure. The truth, as revealed in the work of psychoanalyst Dr. Robin Stern, author of The Gaslight Effect, is often the opposite. Gaslighting is frequently most effective on people who are highly empathetic, conscientious, and willing to give others the benefit of the doubt. Your greatest strengths, your compassion, your willingness to see things from another's perspective, your desire to be a fair and loving partner are the very qualities the weaver uses to their advantage. You want to believe in the good in them. You want to believe that the love is real. So you make excuses. You rationalize their behavior. You turn the blame inward because the alternative that the person you love is deliberately manipulating you is too painful to confront. You engage in what Dr. Stern calls the gaslight tango, a toxic dance where one partner leads and the other follows, desperate to keep the music playing. Another misconception is that the gaslighter is always a malevolent, calculating villain, like Gregory from the movie. While this is sometimes the case, gaslighting can also be a deeply ingrained unconscious behavior. It can be a learned defense mechanism from a person's own traumatic childhood, a way they learn to control their environment to feel safe. They may not be sitting in a dark room, stroking a cat and plotting your demise. They may simply be reacting from a place of their own deep-seated insecurity or narcissism. But here is the critical, non-negotiable truth. Intent does not neutralize impact. A person who unconsciously gaslights you is just as damaging to your mental health as a person who does it consciously. The mirror is just as warped. The pain is just as real. Understanding their why can be useful for your own closure, but it should never be an excuse to stay in the illusion. So how do you, the seeker, begin to break free? How do you shatter the distorted mirror and find yourself again? The journey back begins not with a grand explosion, but with a tiny crack of light. It's a moment of clarity, small and fleeting but profoundly real. It might be a comment from a friend who says, "That doesn't sound like you at all." It might be a moment when the weaver's denial is so absurd, so contrary to undeniable fact, that a spark of your old certain self ignites in defiance. It's the moment the seeker, staring at their twisted reflection, notices a tiny hairline crack in the glass. And through that crack, for a split second, they see their own true eyes staring back. Your first task is to trust that crack. Do not let the weaver convince you it's a flaw in your vision. This flicker of dissonance is your intuition, your inner compass, screaming for your attention. Hold on to it, nurture it. This is your truth reasserting itself. The second and most powerful step is to create your own unwarpable mirror. This means externalizing your reality. Start a journal. Write down the conversations, the events, the feelings, as factually as you can, as soon as they happen. Today, he said I was being paranoid for asking about the text message. I felt hurt and confused. This journal is not for them. It is for you. It becomes an objective record, a concrete testament to your reality that cannot be twisted or denied. When the fog of self-doubt descends, you can open this book and see the truth in black and white. It is your anchor in the storm of manipulation. Next, you must seek out other mirror-clear, trusted, supportive ones. Reconnect with friends and family you may have been isolated from. Share your experiences with someone you trust implicitly, someone who has known you for a long time. Say to them, "I need a reality check. This is what's happening. Does this sound sane to you?" The validation you receive from people outside the illusion is crucial. They will reflect your true self back to you, the strong, smart, capable person you have been all along. A therapist can be an invaluable resource here, acting as a professional mirror cleaner, equipped with the tools to help you scrub away the distortions and see clearly again. This process will inevitably lead you to the most difficult step: setting boundaries. A boundary is not a request. It is a declaration of what you will and will not accept. It starts small. It might be saying, "I will not continue this conversation while you are invalidating my feelings. I am going to take a walk." It might be, "I will no longer accept blame for things I did not do." The weaver will resist. They will push back, escalate their tactics, and accuse you of being the one who is creating problems. This is the moment of greatest tension, the moment the illusion fights for its life. Standing firm in your boundary is you taking back your power. It is you saying, "This room is mine, this mirror is mine," and you will no longer distort it. This journey is not about fixing the weaver. It is not your responsibility to heal their insecurities or teach them a new way of being. Your only responsibility is to heal yourself. It's about taking yourself out of the warped room entirely. The renowned researcher and author Brené Brown speaks often of shame, which she describes as the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. Gaslighting is a shame delivery system. It is designed to make you feel so fundamentally flawed that you believe you are unworthy of a healthy, respectful love. The ultimate act of healing is to reclaim your worthiness. The story of the seeker and the weaver does not have to end in tragedy. It can end in liberation. Imagine the seeker, after weeks and months of nurturing that crack of light, of writing in their journal, of talking to trusted friends, finally makes a choice. They stand before the distorted mirror one last time. They look at the anxious, confused reflection, and then they look at the weaver standing beside it. And with a quiet strength they didn't know they possessed, they turn around and walk out of the room. They leave the warped mirror behind. Out in the open air, the world is shockingly clear. There are other reflections everywhere, in the windows of shops, in the eyes of kind strangers, in the surface of a still lake. They are all different, but they are all true. And eventually, the seeker realizes they don't need a mirror at all. They can feel their own reality from the inside out. They can trust the steady beat of their own heart, the clarity of their own thoughts, the wisdom of their own feelings. The fog has lifted. They are no longer a seeker, but a knower. They know their own truth. If you are in that foggy room right now, looking into a mirror that shows you a stranger, please know that you are not alone and you are not crazy. The way out begins with a single courageous whisper to yourself. What if I'm not the one who's wrong? Listen to that whisper. It is the sound of your truth, waiting patiently for you to come home.